What is up, everybody? So just quickly, in this video, we're going to run through how to write the perfect cold email. So how do we know this? Well, for starters, we built a CRM. So we've done tons of research on how to maximize deliverability. And we also just have worked with tons of customers. We've learned what actually works. On top of that, we actually acquire around 70% of our customers from cold email. It's easily our most valuable channel. So in this, we'll be sharing all the tactics, the tips, the best practices that we found that work best when writing a cold email. Now, let's dive into it. And before we get started here, I just want to quickly invite all of you to come check out LeadLoft. You can use it to find verified contact information, run all your automated email outreach, and you can even track your entire pipeline. If you want to get going, just go to leadloft.com, book a demo with our team, and if you're lucky enough, I might actually be the one on the demo with you. Now, let's get back to writing a cold email. So the first tip here is subject lines. And what you want to do with them is just keep them generic. So you can test tons of different types of subject lines. And to be honest, you should always be testing, reiterating, and basically searching for what works best. The one thing with us though, is we found generic subject lines really do seem to work the best. And I think the reason for this is because it's essentially how your coworkers or friends write emails, right? They don't write really specific subject lines like, hey, are you looking to 10x your revenue? They write subject lines like, hey, can you please review? Or checking back on this. So those generic, really simple subject lines that are short, concise, seem casual, seem to work the best. So that's what we recommend. So stick with generic, simple subject lines. Don't get too creative and don't get too spammy with it. This next tip is really simple. It's to use the prospect's first name. So it really shouldn't have to be said. However, I see it all the time where somebody emails me and they say, hi, sir, or hello, with no name at all. And I even see it where somebody says, hi, Zach Olivas. In all those cases, those are terrible. You want to just say, hi, Zach, or hello, Zach. Using sir or leaving out the first name or using the full name just starts you off on a really bad note. So it's an easy win. Just use the first name. So this next tip is to personalize your email. And the way we like to do this is by personalizing the first line with a compliment. So imagine somebody just raises like a Series A, or they have an amazing website. You can open up with, hey, I just noticed you guys raised your Series A and you locked in this investor. Congrats, that's really well done. Or you could even just say, hey, just took a look at your website. I love the blue and white design. It looks really nice and modern, super well done. I'm very impressed. Just by doing this and by just putting in some additional effort, just to show that the email is not automated, actually goes a really long way. And it's actually gonna 10x the chance that you receive a response. Because when you personalize an email and it feels like you put effort in, the prospect feels like, and they'll notice that you put effort in. And what happens is they're 10 times more willing to put effort into responding. So a really great way to break the ice is to personalize the first line of your email. This next tip is super important, and it's to keep your cold email as short as possible. I see it all the time where somebody cold emails me an essay, and to be honest, I never read it. And I don't think if I were to send an essay, I would expect the prospect to read it. I don't have tons of time to read long cold emails. However, if it's 3 sentences and it's really short, concise, and straight to the point, of course I'm gonna read that email, and if it's interesting, I'll respond. And basically your goal here is not to completely pitch them and close the deal. Your goal is to pique their interest. And you can do that more easily with a short, concise email that somebody is guaranteed to read. So when you're writing a cold email, keep it really short. And if you need to, write the email and go through a few iterations of trying to shrink it down, deleting words. And this is a really good way to just kind of shrink your email down and make sure it is short and it is very concise. This next tip is a little counterintuitive, but it's to keep your email casual. So when you're writing a cold email, I think a lot of people are tempted to make it seem very formal, very professional. However, that's not a great way to build a relationship. It's much more likely that you'll receive a response if it comes off very casual. So when you're even writing a sentence, you don't need to say, hey, I just wanted to check in to see if you're interested in. You could just say, checking to see if you're interested in, just kind of deleting some words just to make it feel more casual. And I think a really good way to test this is actually to read your email out loud. So find a room where it's quiet, sit down, read your cold email out loud to yourself. Does it sound like something you would say in a conversation? If so, it's probably a great email. If not, then just rewrite it and try again. This next tip is to avoid using jargon as well as acronyms. So the vast majority of us will adopt acronyms and jargon as we work in the same workspace. However, this becomes second nature to us and our colleagues, but to somebody outside of our company, it might be very foreign, right? So when you're writing a cold email, make sure you avoid using this jargon. And a good way to test this is actually to read it to a friend who's outside of your office, a child, or even a grandparent. Do they understand what you're saying? If not, it's probably not a great email. And I like to think of it kind of like a bad joke. If you have to explain it, it's probably not the best joke. So do your best to avoid jargon and to avoid acronyms. This next tip is to avoid buzzwords. So over time, consumers have a tendency to associate buzzwords with like spam or get rich quick schemes. So if you hear blockchain or AI, these are words that are, AI is awesome. However, I don't think you need to mention it in a cold email. It's better to focus on the benefit that that technology is offering the potential customer, right? So imagine your solution helps to 3x revenue. Maybe focus on the fact that you can help 3x revenue instead of focusing on the fact that you're an AI powered solution. And just quickly, here's a real email that I received from somebody, which is our transformative human powered AI driven infrastructure as a solution is helping increase engagement by 200 to 400%. So as you can tell, that sounds really salesy. This is kind of going back to keep it casual. By using buzzwords, you just come off very salesy and it doesn't come off casual. My edit to that email would be something like, we help increase revenue by contacting your customers at times when they're most likely to make a purchase. So far, our customers have been seeing 3 times more sales as a result. So in that case, we're focusing on the benefit. We're not focusing on the technology, especially since the technology in that case is a little buzzy. So it's just something to be aware of. Focus on the benefit and try to avoid using buzzwords. So this next tip is to provide value in your cold email. And it's actually probably the hardest aspect of cold emailing is providing value and giving this person a reason to hop on a call. So if you don't solve a massive pain point, you're gonna have to do this. It's the only way you're gonna get high response rates. So something we do is we'll offer sharing our own internal sales workflow, right? So, hey, do you wanna hop on a call? And I'll say, at the very least, I'm happy to share our own internal sales workflow with your team. You guys can use it, copy it, do what you like with it. On top of that, I've also seen companies who maybe aren't solving a massive problem, or maybe they don't have something of value to share, but what they will offer is they'll say, hey, if you're willing to hop on a call with me, coffee is on me. And what they'll actually do is they'll actually send a gift card to that prospect to get them on a call, or they'll send the coffee after the call. So if you can't provide value with like sharing information or a tactic, you can always provide value with literally sharing something or buying something for them, like a coffee. And if this is a deal that might be worth 10, 20, 30, or even 40 or $50,000, it's totally worth it to send $2.50, like a $2.50 coffee from Starbucks to hop on a call with a prospect. So just keep that in mind. Just find a way to provide value in your cold email so the prospect is more likely to reply and more likely to hop on a call with your team. So this next tip is to end with a question. So I see it all the time where somebody ends an email with, let me know if you're interested, period. But a better way to end that would be with a question mark, like, are you interested in learning more? Question mark. And imagine you're asking for a meeting, right? A bad way to ask for a meeting would be to say something like, are there any times next week that work for you to meet? And the reason that's bad is because it requires the prospect to actually do some research, right? They have to go check their calendar, they have to see what times actually work, and they have to send them over to me. A better way to ask for a meeting would be to say something along the lines of, hey, I blocked off 3 p.m. on Thursday, PT time. Does that work for you? Now the prospect can respond with, yes, that works. And I'll just say, hey, just send over a calendar invite, talk soon, and boom, you have a meeting. So not only is it important to end with a question, make sure that responding to that question is also really easy for the prospect. And the last tip here is to space out your email. So I see it all the time where, the opening line, the body, and the call to action are all kind of just combined into one large paragraph. Now, not only is that kind of overwhelming to see, it also kind of diminishes the value of the call to action as well as that personalized opening line, right? So if you put work into personalizing a line and adding a compliment, you don't want to group that together with a paragraph because you're just diminishing the value there. You want to make it really clear that you did personalize this email. And then you also want to make sure that that call to action, like the next steps after they receive the email, are very clear. And if you include that and you kind of combine it with the body, it all kind of just blends together. So when you're writing your email, make sure it's all spaced out, make sure it's really easy on the eyes, make sure it's really easy to consume and read, that it's not an overwhelming paragraph of just words clumped together. Now let's get into writing a cold email. And again, I'm gonna write a cold email. This can be for pitching LeadLoft. That's the first one. Then we'll write a cold email follow-up. And lastly, I'll go through editing an email that I actually received from another company. So let's jump into it really quickly. And within LeadLoft, we use something we call playbooks to send cold emails. So I'll open it up. Here we are. I've already created a draft, so we'll hop into the draft. How to write cold emails. That's the draft we want. Okay, so here we are. So here is the playbook. It's currently 3 steps. You can see 1, 2, 3. And here's the first email. Here's the opener. So I always start cold emails out with something really simple, just hi, first name. If you're not using the first name, that's an issue. So just make sure you are. Hi, we'll insert a personalization tag. We'll say contact first name. So hi, John. came across, we'll say the lead name, so the company name, came across the lead name, and notice, and we're going to assume here, let's say the company we're reaching out to is, let's say it's Pied Piper, for example. So imagine it's Pied Piper, they were just funded, and noticed you just Series A. So the first sentence, and this is its own line, is, again, we're sending this to Pied Piper hypothetically. So, hi Richard, came across Pied Piper and noticed you just closed your Series A. Congrats, love to see it. Already you can tell that when I read it out loud, it sounds like something you might have, sounds like something that might exist in an actual conversation, right? It doesn't sound like I'm pitching anything. I wanted to check in, see if scaling revenue, if you're focused on scaling revenue. We just worked with, I could put a real company here, but I'm going to put, just for all intents and purposes, just a placeholder. Just worked with company name and helped their sales team. I'll get rid of sales here. It's kind of avoiding some of those buzzwords. And sometimes they can flag spam folders. So, and helped their team book more than 100. I could say 100, but I think 800 sounds a little more casual. So more than 100 meetings in just a little over a month. Let me know if you're, so here's the providing value part. Let me know if you're interested in learning how they did it. Happy to share the exact tactics with you and your team. And so I think that body paragraph is pretty good. Let's just read through it really one more time. Wanted to check in to see if you're focused on scaling revenue. We just worked with company name and helped their team book more than 100 meetings in just a little over a month. And I could probably shorten some of this. So I could say helped them book a little more than 100 meetings. I could probably just say booked more than 100 meetings. Let me know if you're interested in learning how they did it. Happy to share the exact tactics with you and your team. I think it's a really strong body. It's really short. It's to the point. If they're looking to scale revenue, I mentioned that. And this is kind of how we will help you scale revenue by booking more meetings for your sales team, right? So then we need to close out that email. So how do we close out this email? Something to keep in mind here is the easier it is to respond to an email, the better, right? So if to respond to an email actually requires them to check their calendar and or if it requires them to send it for multiple times, or it requires them to book a meeting using a calendar link or what have you, it's not great. Or if they just say, I'm interested, then there's more steps to go back and forth. It's best if they can just respond with like a yes or sounds great. So part of this is trying to like take away some of that work, some of that back and forth with that question. So a question that I really like to use is, does this at a specific time work for you, right? So does Thursday morning at 11 a.m. PT work for you? Thursday morning. There we go. So I think this is a really strong opening email. Hi, Richard, came across Pied Piper and noticed just closed your Series A. Congrats, love to see it. Wanted to check in to see if you were focused on scaling revenue. We just worked with a company and helped their team book more than 100 meetings. Let me know if you're interested in learning how they did it. Happy to share the exact tactics with you and your team. And the question, does Thursday morning at 11 a.m. PT work for you? Best, and then my name and my signature will pop in there. So this email follows all the tactics you recommend. Open up with their name, came across, notice it's clearly personalized. It's also complimentary. So that's kind of an awesome opening sentence. His guard is gonna be down because it does seem like it is, somebody who's nice is approaching him. Want to check in to see if you're scaling revenue. They just raised a Series A. They likely are scaling revenue. So it's kind of a target audience or a nice target audience. We just worked with a company that can help them book more than 100 meetings. So now you're showing a case study. It's kind of some proof of your abilities, proof of work. And then let me know if you're interested in learning how they did it. Happy to share the exact tactics with your team. So now they can hop on a meeting with you. They'll gain value from this conversation. And even if they don't pay you any money, it's going to be a learning experience for them. So the value here is learning how a company booked more than 100 meetings. And if they want to, acquire that knowledge, they have to book a meeting with you. So now there's tons of reasons to hop on a call with you. You seem nice. There's proof of work. And there's a huge reason because you're going to share tactics that work with a company who is most likely ready to scale, right? And then lastly, does Thursday morning at 11 a.m. PT work for you? Really good exiting line. You can just respond with, yeah, sounds great. And then you can send over a calendar invite, and that person put literally no effort into booking a call with you. They just said, yeah, sounds great. So that is awesome. The next piece here is for subject lines, just keep them vague. Subject lines is something that they're actually really, really important. We're gonna have a video covering those in more detail. But for now, subject lines that I like are quick question about, and then we'll just toss in lead name here. Quick question about lead name. Nice and simple, it's vague. It's gonna get him to open the email, and then he can kind of learn more from there. And again, the goal of the subject line is just to get them to open the email. And after that, the email should really hopefully be short and concise and pitch them and kind of get them to book a meeting with you. So that's great. So that's an awesome opening email. So now for the follow-up. Follow-up emails, I generally recommend sending them in the same thread. If you're gonna use links, only ever use the link in the second email. Never use it in the first email, just because that first email can land in the primary inbox. And if it does, the second email is likely to land in the primary inbox as well. So we're gonna leave it blank. So we'll send it in the previous thread. And then we'll just say again, hi, we'll personalize it, first name. And again, we wanna make it more casual. So checking back here. And I actually really like short casual emails. So here, I'll just say checking back here. Let's see if we'd like to see how we helped that company name. Meetings. And sometimes I'd like to make this a little bit more personal. So, and this is common with emails. When you're writing them, it's nice to go back and forth and check them periodically, because sometimes when you go back and look at an email or reread it, you find that you don't love your original email, and it's good to kind of update it. So I don't really actually love the checking back here. I want it to feel more personal. Maybe something with the line of wanted to follow up for the weekend here. I'm gonna follow up. I don't love follow up. I wanted to reconnect before the weekend. Now it feels like we may have some relationship that I'm reconnecting on. I wanted to reconnect before the weekend here. Are you still interested? Scaling revenue. Let me know, and I'll send over some times for next week. And again, I'm reading this, and let me know, and I'll send over some times for next week. And there's no questions. I need added question. Send over some time for next week. So let's do this instead. Mind if I send over some times for next week? Question mark. There we go. So that's far better than just, let me know. So I wanted to reconnect before the weekend here. Are you still interested in scaling revenue? There's one question. Second one is, mind if I send over, let's say a few times for next week? Nice, really simple follow-up. And that's a great, nice little bump to the top of their inbox. And you might want to send this, let's say, 7 days after that previous email. I found that the time you want to follow up is generally, it doesn't matter too much. Some audiences are slower to respond. In that case, you want to have a longer timeline to follow up. If they are really quick to respond in the audience you're working with, maybe have a quicker or a shorter follow-up timeline. So that's those are the two emails. And again, I'll link everybody to these in the comments as well. So if you are interested in just copying these and kind of starting from there, I'll link them below so you can all get access to them. So the last one here is an email that I actually received from a real company. And you can tell this is a lot to read. I never even read it, to be honest. So we're going to dive in. We're kind of learning this as we go. I did go through and edit a couple company names. So I changed the name and the company name just to make sure it is anonymous and I'm not actually putting down anybody out there. So looking at this, hi Zach, it's no secret that employees today are demanding the flexibility of remote and hybrid roles, better work life. So it's like a horrible opening to begin with. Like, yeah, great, you have a question here. But all I know in terms of personalization is you said, hi Zach. Like that's as far as they're going. It's a terrible, terrible opening for the most part. And also it's like as long as many cold email bodies probably should be. So I'm with Hello AI. Our workflow automation solution helps companies like LeadLoft increase workforce satisfaction by delivering those high demand benefits. That's like some jargon that, again, if you're listening to this, you know that nobody talks like that. Let's just read it one more time just so we can hear it. Our workflow automation solution helps companies like LeadLoft increase workforce satisfaction by delivering those high demand benefits. Like that is a used car salesman, like straight up. Like that is a horrible cold email. So we're gonna go ahead and probably just trash this. Let's finish reading first. In short, by making processes more efficient and scalable, employees can focus more on projects that are valuable, engaging, and allow them to grow their skills from anywhere. And here's a list of bullet points on how they help. Like this is like just not great. I'm not even gonna read these. Let's just keep going. Zach, would you mind pointing me to the best person with whom to discuss LeadLoft's employee engagement efforts? I don't even know what employee engagement effort is. Like, am I contacting them? Like better digital collaboration, enhanced employee experience? I don't know. Pretty jargony. If that's you, just let me know when you're free for a quick call. Click here. And also, we're a small team. Like, he should be contacting the right person out of the gate. This just sounds like someone who just saved tons of emails. He's just blasting. If he knew, he'd probably know that I'm the CEO and I'd probably be the right guy at a company of our size to talk to. So there's lots here that is wrong. So let's try and fix it, right? Unfortunately, I need to learn what they actually offer, which seems to be unclear. Work-life balance, meaningful professional growth, how LeadLoft can deliver these high-demand benefits. Okay, so it seems like they might help companies manage the better work-life balance to their demanding. In short, by making processes more efficient and scalable, employees better digital enhance employee experience, make busy work reusable templates, automated reminders. Okay, so I think the benefit they're selling here is not mentioned at all. I do think the benefit for the most part is you're gonna have happier employees with less employee churn, which actually can save tons of money. So I'm probably gonna say, hi Zach, came across LeadLoft and noticed, if you really wanted to personalize it, you can see how many employees churned, or even a Glassdoor review is probably what I would go here. And I noticed on Glassdoor that you have 3 stars, or let's say maybe 5 stars. 5 stars. Congrats on the employee love. Sounds like a great place to work. So again, there's a good compliment. And let's hop into, so there's some personalization there. They did some research. They looked at Glassdoor, realized we have 5-star and reviews from our employees. Sounds like a great place to work. Way more personal than a bunch of jargon that just opens up, right? Next one, so their benefit is going to be less employee churn. I noticed that this isn't true, but I imagine the companies are contacting this is applicable to. I noticed that you had a few employees who recently left. Would love to learn more about that. If you learn more about that and to see if there's room for us to help. We help to increase. I don't like increase. We help. We can reduce churn and make all reduce churn, and I'm gonna go ahead with use increase. I don't love it, but we'll do it. Help to reduce churn and increase employee satisfaction. Reduce churn. Probably case studies usable here. We recently worked with, and they saw a reduction, and they saw, I don't like using percentages, and they saw a massive reduction in employee churn. And then here's the value part. There's a case study. You could probably be more specific with that, but I don't have any hard facts right here. So they saw a massive reduction in employee churn. Happy to share the exact. Happy to share the changes that led to the increase in employee happiness. And to be honest, I'm reading this and it doesn't sound like a super strong pitch. I think this is one of those examples where the pitch is not massive. Like, I don't think most employees, I mean, I know churn's a big problem, but I imagine most companies don't really feel like it is a big problem. So I think right here, I might just toss in something with a little extra, right? So I might say, happy to share the changes that led to the increase in employee happiness. And I'll even send over a free start. I don't want to use free. So send over a virtual coffee on me. So we'll buy him a coffee. That makes it a little bit more useful, because I think I might hop on a call for a free coffee, but I don't think I'm going to hop on a call to learn about employee churn. Okay, there we go. So it is a little longer than I generally like. We can run through it one more time. Then at the end, again, I'll probably reiterate on that coffee because it's a stronger pitch. Can I buy you a coffee on Monday at probably morning, 10 a.m. PT? So there we go. I think that's pretty good. So I think overall, the original email was pretty terrible. And now what we've changed it into is, hi, Zach, came across the LeadLoft and noticed on Glass that you have 5 stars. Congrats on the employee love. Sounds like a great place to work. So like, awesome opening. I think that's really, really powerful. Most people will open this email, read that. And after you read that, you will certainly read the body. I noticed you had a few employees who recently left. We'd love to connect and learn more about that and see if there's room for us to help. We help to reduce churn and increase. We help to increase employee satisfaction and increase employee, let's just say happiness. Satisfaction is a little corporate. Happiness. Recently worked with, and they saw a massive reduction in employee churn. Happy to share the changes that led to the increase in employee happiness, and I'll even send over virtual coffee on me. Can I buy you a coffee on Monday at regards? I hate regards. I would say best. And I hate when the name is in the signature by itself, right? Like, because this email would appear like this. So I would even update this to say John and have the signature to be separate like that. So that's what the email would come out to. I've changed it quite a bit. The new email, let's read through it one last time. Hi, Zach, came across LeadLoft and noticed on Glassdoor that you have 5 stars. Congrats on the employee love. Sounds like a great place to work. I noticed that you had a few employees who recently left. Would love to connect to learn more about that and to see if there's room for us to help. We help to increase employee happiness. I think now that I'm reading this, I'm just going to delete the sentence entirely. And again, that's normal. When you reread, it's common to remove and shrink down. We recently worked with, and they saw a massive reduction in employee churn. Perfect. Happy to share the changes that led to the increase in employee happiness. And I'll even send over a virtual coffee on me. Can I buy you a coffee on Monday at 10 a.m.? Best. So I think that's a really strong pitch. I think you'd all agree that that email is far better than the original email, which nobody in their right mind is going to respond to. But that is how you write a cold email. So again, we went through the initial email, we went through the cold email follow-up, and again, we just went ahead and edited all those emails. So that is pretty much everything. If you all have any questions or like to learn more about how this is done, or if you'd like our team to review your cold emails, feel free to just reach out, book a demo with us. Again, every single person who hops on a call with our team, we share our own internal sales workflow. So you can learn a lot about everything we just covered here just by booking a demo with us. So again, just like sending a cold email, you need to provide value.
we believe you need to provide value in giving demos. So if you book a demo, we'll provide as much value as we can. But hopefully you all found this super enjoyable. If you have questions, just reach out to our team. Bye for now.